getting new details about what's been happening behind the scenes with the Foo Fighters after, unfortunately, earlier this year, vocalist Dave Grohl released a surprising statement revealing that he had fathered a child out of wedlock and he would be taking a step back to focus on his family, understandably. And we had heard that they had canceled some shows, but now we're hearing that this band may be gone for quite some time. We might not be hearing from the Foo Fighters for a while. And if you're like me and you've been a fan of the Foo Fighters for a long time, you know just how relentlessly this band was touring. They are absolute road warriors. Dave Grohl famously loves playing live, loves playing often, so they were doing huge shows all over the world for many, many years. So it's kind of odd to not hear anything from the Foo Fighters for quite some time. But this comes from a new interview with the founder of Hellfest, and he gave us some details about how this lineup came together. I've got the lineup on your screen. It looks absolutely amazing over there. And if you see, Muse is playing, great live band, but they weren't originally scheduled to be performing. He said the Foo Fighters were there, and he gives us a little bit of information about what is happening with the band, and it doesn't sound promising for those of us who are ready to see them perform live. Here's what we know. It was back in September when Foo Fighters frontman Dave Grohl released this statement. He said, "I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter, born outside of my marriage. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my children, and I am doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. We're grateful for your consideration towards all the children involved as we move forward together. Dave." Now, I think most people understood that they were going to have some shows canceled, probably wouldn't play any shows in 2024, but it's going to be a lot longer than that. And if you've seen the Foo Fighters, you know this band just takes their live show to another level. They're doing 2.5 to 3 hour sets. No two shows are the same. Grohl's calling a lot of audibles. You never know what song they could play because he'll just tell his band, hey, let's go into this. And it's really an amazing thing to see live. So I hope we're going to get to see this band again, but we have no idea at this point when the Foo Fighters could be back. And this new interview with the Hellfest founder doesn't sound like it's going to be anytime in the near future. Here's what he said. Hellfest is set to take place from June 19th to the 22nd next year in France. And the lineup features headliners Korn, Muse, Scorpions, and Linkin Park. Performances also include Falling in Reverse, Judas Priest, Within Temptation, Electric Callboy, and many other great bands. But that Friday night set was originally not scheduled to include Muse. In fact, they were stepping in after one of the biggest bands in rock canceled, none other than the Foo Fighters. In a new interview with the French media outlet, festival founder and director Ben Barbad said, "They were offered to me on a platter." Speaking of booking Muse. "A month ago, I was offered to program them with a handful of European festivals." He said, "Foo Fighters having canceled their summer tour, Muse was called in as reinforcements. I accepted because I was missing a headliner on Friday, and because the Hellfest audience is more and more open. With age, I too have matured. I am less sectarian." He said, "I created this festival for the love of punk, hardcore, and at the beginning, for the purists. But today, I prefer to shock them than to always do the same artists. We could have invited Iron Maiden and Slipknot back, who were already there 2 years ago." So what we're learning from that interview is the Foo Fighters apparently had a big tour of Europe booked next year. They've gone ahead and canceled that as well, most likely linked to that statement from Grohl earlier this year. And there are no live shows on their calendar at all. So Foo Fighters is gone for the foreseeable future, which is very unfortunate because I know there are so many fans that love to see them live year after year. And I hope that he does come back. I hope the Foo Fighters do take the stage again. And I know that the fans are going to be ready to see them perform when that happens. But right now, you know, he's doing the right thing. He's focused on his family. And I think this is proof that he's taking this very seriously because you look at Grohl's history of just touring nonstop. This band really tours more than a lot of other bands. They play so many great shows. So for him not to be performing for the foreseeable future, it shows that he is really taking what he said in his statement very seriously. But again, hopefully we'll get to see the Foo Fighters at some point. You never know whether or not a band is going to come back. I do think they'll be back, but probably not for a while. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe with notifications on for the latest news and updates right here at Rockfeed.